Viewer discretion is expressed for the following program. If you are easily triggered or offended, please exercise caution while viewing this program, because the hosts really don't care. Warning, this show is not for children, and not for coworkers either.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. It is Monday morning, July 24th, 2023, and we are back to start another great week, the best week ever. I'm sure the best news is going to happen this week. We're going to meet every Monday through Friday, 6:30 in the morning, drink coffee, talk about the news, politics, media, pop culture stuff. Although San Diego Comic-Con happened this weekend, I didn't pay any attention, but I don't think anybody else did either. So we'll see if any of that trickles into the news. Good morning, sir.
Do you know how much an apple or a single banana? Do you know this banana? Most people probably don't like their bananas like this, but this is actually pretty.
You like them tender,
banana.
Soft.
There's a lot of nutrients in bananas like this. So you know how much a single banana was? My children will not even. Oh my God, that's disgusting. So that's why I bring it.
Yeah.
Do you know how much a single banana at Comic-Con was?
I don't know. I'm going to say $1.
$5.50 for a
banana,
apple, and a single banana. Yeah, I think a bottle of water was like $13.50 for a bottle of water.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
that's nuts.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why people go to San Diego Comic-Con anymore. Like when I was a kid and before I was a kid, it was for people who wanted to be writers and artists in comics to go meet editors. Editors don't go. So I don't anymore. So it's just for like dressing up in costumes.
In the 80s and 90s, it
turned movies
into in the 80s and 90s, the Comic-Con turned into where comic book dealers would come and sell their comic book wares.
Right.
So, and then it's just spawned from there. It was like, oh, well, we can get some action figures in the middle 90s. Now we can get cards, and now we can get Funko Pops. Have you seen these things?
Sure, yeah.
Every freaking booth at Lexington Comic-Con, I bet 85% of the booths are Funko Pops. And I don't fucking collect Funko Pops.
Right. I got no interest in vinyl plastic.
About Funko Pops. I've got one.
Yeah. Is it cable?
Sent to me.
Oh, yeah.
This was sent to me from who was it? Who was it that sent this to me? One of our podcast listeners.
Oh, yeah.
Sent me a bunch of comics and this Funko Pop of Cable.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, "Why'd you open it?" I was like, "Because I don't collect them."
Yeah. I was looking at a comic shop that's like 20-30 minutes from here. I mean, there's 2 or 3 around here, but a lot of them closed on Sundays and stuff. And I was looking this weekend. I was like, oh, I might take my kids to this comic shop. I looked up this one and I found one I hadn't seen before. And it was the photos. I started looking through the photos of the shop, and it's pretty cool. It was like Adventure Begins time, comics and games and more. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I found them on Google Maps. I clicked on the photos and started looking through the photos. And at first I was like, well, this is cool. They have like a 2-story thing. They have a first floor and a second floor. Right. And then if you click on the photos, you can they did like a little Google Maps thing where they had a guy in there with a camera kind of going around, I guess. I don't know. And I started looking around in the store. I was like, well, there's board games. And there's board games, and there's tables, and there's board games, and there's board. And I started looking around the whole store inside the photo thing. I was like, "There's no comics in here. If they got comics, they're on a shelf in the back somewhere. It's just games and tables and like action figure things and stuff like that. Like it may be a comics and more. Yeah, it is kind of cool.
I mean, when I go into comic book store, when I go into our comic book store now, that's what I go to the TTRGP, the tabletop role playing game section. That's what I want in the comic book store. I don't want the comic books. I don't want the comic books anymore.
Well, I mean, apparently nobody does. Apparently nobody does.
They're trying to feed down my throat. I get my comic books for free online like a pirate. When I'm the shit that I want to read, I'm not going to give you my money anymore. You've shit on me too many times. Hey,
anyway.
Yeah, it was a comic book discussion here at the very beginning of the show. That's all right. Oh, what's up?
Yeah.
Let's get to music real quick. I got something cool this week I want to do for music. Let me put the song in the playlist here. But this week with our songs, I'm doing something different. We're going to add JJ the exact same song every day this week. What do you think
same
about
song?
That? The exact same song I'm going to add every day this week.
All right.
So I think last year Metallica put out this album, this double or triple album called The Blacklist. And the Blacklist, hang on. The Blacklist has 8 songs on 3 albums. I think it's 3 albums.
All right.
8 songs on 3 albums. No, 4 albums. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versions of Enter Sandman. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versions of Sad But True. That's the first disc. The second disc is Holier Than Thou and The Unforgiven. There's 12 tracks. You see what I'm getting at? So the song that we're adding today and all this week is one of the greatest songs ever written. Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. And this version today is done by this Russian-German pianist named Igor Levit. He's a German. He works at a university in Germany. He lives in Germany. He works at a university in Germany. He lives in Germany. He focuses on, like I say there at the bottom, he focuses on Bach and Beethoven and Liszt. And this version of Nothing Else Matters. Hang on, I thought I hit enter over here.
I was looking for it.
There it is. I thought I hit enter. This version is Nothing Else Matters on the piano, as if a pianist, a composer, and it's not just like ding 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 bling 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 bling. He does his own version of this. It's so beautiful. It's so freaking beautiful. All right. So this song, Nothing Else Matters. The one that we're going to play Friday is the big one off that album, and it was done by Elton John and Miley Cyrus and Yo-Yo Ma and Robert Trujillo, who's the bassist for Metallica, and Chad Smith, who's the drummer for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And it'll blow your mind. But Elton John, they were interviewing Metallica and about this album on the Howard Stern show. And when this came out, and Elton John phoned in and was basically like, Nothing Else Matters is the most beautiful song I have ever heard in my life. And James Hetfield, the lead singer of Metallica, started crying. Tears started coming. If Elton John tells you that the song that you wrote is the most beautiful song he has ever heard, Jesus Lord, that's a huge compliment.
A major compliment.
Nothing
from
else
a living legend.
Yeah, Nothing Else Matters really is a beautiful, heartfelt song. If you listen to the lyrics and look and read the lyrics, it is such a beautiful song. And the composition of the song is beautiful too.
Yeah.
Some people might not like, I just don't like metal music. That's fine. Listen to this version.
This
I've
has
got a version
such a different tempo.
Oh, God, it's so beautiful, isn't it? It's so calming. I've had such a bad weekend that I come in today that I was like, I need something calm. Like last night, I was listening to jazz at home last night, trying to calm my nerves a little bit. And this morning just kind of, it's just kind of calm.
Allows you to take like a deep breath. Just
take a deep breath. It's so
get some oxygen.
Yeah. So I've got some really good
Pretty
versions of Nothing Else Matters this week from the Blacklist, from the Metallica Blacklist album that are really good. There's about a 10-minute long version that Chris Stapleton does. It's great.
10. Okay.
Yeah,
well, I mean, this is unlike any version of this that I've ever heard before. I mean, it's radically different in tempo. It's soft.
Yeah.
if that's a way to say it. Okay.
All
right. Let's get into it today. Oh, I forgot to put the title card up. Let me get the title card. All right, guys. Here we go.
All right.
Get rid of this one. I
don't like seeing Biden.
Yeah, here we go. Today's episode. Fool me 278,000 times. Shame on me. I thought that was a pretty good title. I thought that was pretty good. So, and I came up with this title last week as this news broke. We had some more interesting news kind of happen over the weekend, but we'll start here. The FBI, we've covered this story before. How I think it was probably a month ago. We covered a Senate hearing or a House hearing where they representatives were grilling members of the FBI, and they said, "Hey, how much data is in here of Americans that shouldn't be in here from you scraping, foreign phone calls and foreign transactions, foreign emails, or whatever. That data shouldn't include American conversations, American communications." And the FBI refused to answer. They were like, "Well, we don't have a way to put a number on that." Well, it turns out that the amount of American information captured while surveilling foreign actors is enormous. It's so big. The FBI improperly used surveillance tools on a senator, the court records show. Section 702 of the act was adopted in 2008, allows the intelligence community to survey foreign actors, and critics have contended that the tool has been enabled to survey Americans. And I believe it's in here. It's got to be in here. Yeah. In May of this year, the FISC filing determined that the FBI had improperly made use of Section 702 more than 278,000 times since the database was created. So all of this data goes into this big old database, and then agents get on there and they do a query. Well, they have improperly done a query and harvested information about Americans 250,000 times. So the surprise, the government, you can totally trust the government. But in addition to normal Americans, apparently they have improperly surveyed a sitting, or I don't know if it's a sitting U.S. senator, but a United States senator. Let's see which senator it was. The FBI continues to break the rules put in place to protect Americans, running illegal searches on public officials, including a U.S. senator, and it's long past time for Congress to step in. As Congress debates reauthorizing Section 702, these opinions make clear why fundamental reforms are urgently needed. This is Patrick, ACLU National Security Project Director Patrick Toomey. That's his words. Are you shocked, Deacon? Are you folks shocked that the government would improperly use their intelligence tools against Americans? No, nobody's shocked. But this is what happens when you give people power. It's the old adage: power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And if you give the government these tools, of course they're going to use them improperly, and they'll justify it. Oh, well, we're actually looking for terrorists, but then they'll use it politically. They will scrape your data and scrape your phone calls and try to find something that makes you look bad, and then leak it to the news.
They don't even have these people go. That, JJ. They don't
have to. So why are they doing it?
All they do is they just go to Google and they are like, "Hey, give us the information." And Google's like, "Well, what do we get?" And they say, "Well, we'll give you this." And they're like, "Okay, here's fucking JJ's shit."
Yeah, right.
That's what they do. That's the simplified, retarded version. Hey, give me the shit. What do I get? We'll give you this. Okay. That's it. That's what happened.
You get no scrutiny this week. Okay, here you go. Yeah.
And every time you're on Facebook and you click the little what Game of Thrones character are you? Or what color are
feeding
you?
more data into the algorithm.
Ashley, she used to do that all the time. She'd send me, look, I'm so and so Smurf, or I'm so stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Which Harry Potter character are you?
I had to tell a coworker one time, I keep getting these things and I keep texting them back to stop, or I keep sending back an unsubscribe email. You're not unsubscribing. You're telling them that is a working email.
Just block it. Block, spam, go away. So, yeah.
No, go ahead.
So you're not shocked at all.
I'm not shocked that the government. No, our information.
I mean, Google knows when you're pooping, so sure. Yeah. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. We talked about him last week. Remember, I played a little clip even last week of Robert F. Kennedy getting censored while testifying about being censored. Yeah. He was testifying about being censored, and the Democrats literally tried to censor him right then. Robert F. Kennedy has come out a little more strong. You know, obviously, RFK is challenging Joe Biden for the Democratic nomination. Joe Biden sitting president. It's, you know, he's the incumbent. It's kind of assumed that he's going to run on the Democratic ticket. And RFK Jr., nephew of JFK, is saying, "Hey, you know, I'm gonna try to be the president. I'm gonna run to be the president. I'm gonna at least run." Well, he's been pretty soft on being critical of Biden, but now RFK Jr. is actually saying maybe Joe Biden needs to be investigated for corruption. To which the rest of us have been like, "Yeah,
yeah."
Yeah, that's literally what we've been saying for like a year."
Donald Trump could fart the wrong way, and y'all want to throw him in jail, but Joe Biden has sex with his daughter while she was in the shower.
Allegedly.
Well, allegedly.
According to her diary.
According to fucking her. So allegedly, according right out of her goddamn mouth. I mean, we're supposed to believe, right? Right?
And that's bad. That's real bad. But like,
there's no allegedly to that. The bitch,
you know, so. Like that's bad, and she should say something, do something to police, and that's a domestic affair. The rest of us are involved in that.
They don't live in our world, JJ.
I know, right?
If she were to say something like that back in the day, she would have been taken away to a rich person's fucking house and locked in there. We wouldn't even. Ashley, who I don't. Joe Biden doesn't have a daughter. You know, he had a daughter a long time ago, and she died of pneumonia. Yeah, back when she was 7. You know, shit happens like that. It's not a movie. It's
that's
not a
bad
movie to think shit like that happens.
But we can't investigate that. We can't prove it or substantiate it or anything. We can't. Now, what we can see, what there is evidence of, is Joe Biden using his office while he was vice president for profit to shake down leaders in other countries, and there's records of that. So RFK Jr. this week has changed tactics and demanded for the first time an investigation into possible corruption by Joe Biden. His request was prompted by the release last week of the FD 1023 form, which we covered on the show. I showed it to you. That alleged that Biden was part of a $10 million bribery scheme involving the Ukraine company that hired his son, Hunter Biden. So,
isn't that what the? I mean, it didn't. I thought all this shit was common knowledge. Isn't this what? Isn't this the reason that when Biden got into office, when Biden stole the election to get into office because he had to become president, because he had already promised all this fucking shit to all these goddamn countries, including Zelensky. He had already promised this stuff to Ukraine and whatnot. So he had to get into office. Trump could not win, or else this whole shit that we're seeing going on now with Russia and Ukraine would have never happened if Trump would have won the election. So they had to steal the election in order to put that man in there in order to get this going. Because if Trump would have been in office, do you think this would be going on in Ukraine? And if it was still going on in Ukraine, if Trump was in office, how do you think it would be going because of all the money the U.S. would not be sending to fucking Ukraine? All right.
Right.
Let's look at the alternate universe here for just a fucking quick second.
Sure.
Okay? Let's go to the alternate universe for a second. Biden did not win and Trump won.
Yes.
Does Russia still attack Ukraine?
If Trump was president?
Yes. That's the only difference. Trump won. So the first thing that would have happened on January the 20th or the 21st or whatever it was, I think it was the 20th, was that the pipeline would have not been shut down. First of all,
for sure, that's right. The pipeline
Gas
we would have
$3.30 a fucking gallon.
Pump it down.
It might be about $2.30 or $2.40 a gallon, but it wouldn't be $3.30 a gallon like it is right now. Okay,
I will say one thing. One thing is that Biden being president has flushed out publicly a lot of stuff for some reason. Some reason these people are in power, and we're finding out all over the place. Like, look at what these people are doing. I'm not sure. I think they would have stayed under the rocks a little bit more if Trump were president, because they would have been trying to.
Right, because you can see they've got him in there. They've got 4 years, and they're trying to do as much as they can. Because I just heard on the way in this morning, I saw this the other day, but I didn't really get into it. But I heard on the way in this morning the whole water heater bullshit with Biden now. Remember, he wanted to get rid of the gas stoves because he wants to get rid of natural gas. He wants to get rid of coal and natural gas and shit. Okay. So that we're having to buy this shit from other countries. And so that we're depending on other shit and we're not depending on our own shit. Okay.
Right.
All right. I see coal. When you hear this train go by every morning, 90% of the time it's loaded down with coal. Okay. I can go out and take a picture of it the next time it goes by if you don't believe me. Loaded down with coal, the natural gas. And now they're trying to stop. Oh, we're trying to improve the water heaters and blah, 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 and your water heaters in your home and blah, 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 because they're trying to eliminate the natural gas water heaters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They want to take away gas, and they want to make people make people reliant on electrical. Well, we don't have the electrical power generation to substantiate this. They can stop
it anytime they want. If you piss them off, if you don't go with their agenda, they will stop it whenever they want. Because right now, I just saw a meme the other day. Right now, it was like power went off. It was a picture of their stove, and these people had set little tea candles underneath on their stove eye, and they were warming up something on the stove with their tea candles. And it was a meme, and it was like, look what we did. The power was off, but we got innovative. Look how we created this. And the first comment underneath was it's a gas stove, you dumbass. You don't need fucking power. All you do is turn it on and use a match.
Yeah.
God, that's how stupid people are.
In fact, you know what? No power. Our gas stove is how I kept my house and my kids warm. We shouldn't really have done this, but it was 2 or 3 days during the cold snap. There was a cold snap last year or the year before, and the temperature got so cold in Texas like that it froze the windmills. And Texas has more windmills than just about anybody. And but our electrical generated by the windmills frozen, and the some of the pipelines that service some of the other power generation stations frozen. And we had 2 or 3 days. Some people in Texas had a week or 2 weeks, no electricity. We had a couple days, no electricity. It was freezing. I have kids in my house. And so it was the gas stove that I was able to let them warm up the first floor and keep the kids warm.
Yeah.
So, and the Biden administration, they don't want you to have gas. They want you to have electrical heating. Oh, it's more efficient. Unless you're fucking freezing, or unless you want to eat your food.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to take a hot bath. Don't let them take your. This is how they
systematically take control. If you were to go forward 200 years and look at the history of the United States in the early 2000s, in the late 1900s, early 2000s, this will be studied about in children when we're dead and gone, is that This is how they systematically, piece by piece, destroyed the United States. And they started in the 1930s. They started before the ink was fucking dry on the goddamn Declaration of Independence. They started before the ink was dry. All right.
Yeah.
And they've had 300 freaking years almost of perfecting this freaking art of screwing over people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like to hear. Ashley hates to hear me talk about, Ashley loves capitalism, and she believes capitalism works and loves it and loves America and thinks that this is the greatest country in the world. And all you got to do is work hard to get where you want. And I love that she thinks that way. I love her. She's so cute and she's beautiful.
Positive mental attitude.
She's very positive. She is. She's positive Polly. I call her thanks Polly. But
that's great.
A positive mood. And she does that all the time. And I love her. She's a wonderful redeeming quality about her. But I am not that way. I am not that way. And she knows that. I'm a grumpy Gus. Have you ever watched the Goldbergs? The TV show?
No, I haven't. I heard of it though.
It's an 80s. It's freaking great.
Right.
Ashley's the mom and I'm the dad.
Right.
Okay. So
hey, you know what? Positive. You might be right about reality, but she's right about opportunity because
I'm not saying she's wrong.
Your grumpy reality acknowledgement of reality can be handcuffs for you, where she can be positive about not real reality and manifest something better. So
you're not saying anything wrong. I wholeheartedly believe that. But as the grumpy person, and you've known me for many years,
sure,
now,
of course,
you know that I'm a grumpy person.
Yeah.
But as the grumpy person, it's really hard for me to go, fucking JJ smiling again and dancing. He's wanting me to fucking smile. Okay. Hi, buddy.
Let's make it better. We're making the day better. All right. So RFK Jr. is calling for an investigation into Biden. I'll support RFK Jr. in that. He may be running for a Democrat, but I mean, at least the guy's trying to be honest, which my wife is like, no, he's trying to take down the other candidate. I don't know. I honestly think RFK Jr. would be totally fine with anybody else winning, as long as people would stop lying.
Put anybody up against Captain Pedophile, and I'm for them.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeffrey Dahmer.
So
maybe.
So right now, if you kind of look at, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. Right now, if you kind of look at the field, you got the Republicans, you got Trump, and then you got like DeSantis, whose campaign has imploded somehow.
Well, DeSantis fucked himself this weekend, and he didn't say anything that he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything that's not factually correct from a historical standpoint, but people don't want to hear that shit. I'm sorry that it's the fucking truth. You don't want to hear it, but what he's saying is the truth.
So that's
black,
that's
white,
true.
green, purple.
But
you can go back 5,000 years in history and say that what the China did is the exact same thing.
So that's true, but his campaign is also doing things like using CG to manufacture images and audio that's not true.
But let me point out something real quick, okay? And because I don't want you to do it. If you said his campaign is doing this, that's a pretty big generalized term. I work in radio. A lot of people don't realize this when you see an ad on TV. JJW is a dumbass. Did you know that he likes to sniff his farts? This ad paid for by friends of
That's true.
It has nothing to do with JJW or your campaign. If I want to get together my buddies and call ourselves the Friends of Deacon or the Betterment of a No JJW of America Foundation, I can buy ads on your radio station and the TV, and I can run it and make them look fucking professional. And the dumbass sheep in the world of this country are going to go, did you know JJ blah blah blah? They're not going to look at the little bitty tiny writing at the bottom.
That's true. So some of the worst ads have been played by a PAC that supports DeSantis, but DeSantis War Room has been retweeting some of these ads. So, and you could call it an endorsement or amplification, but the DeSantis campaign has amplified some of these campaigns that have factual, like manufactured images and manufactured audio. It's not good. So anyway, DeSantis is plummeting in the polls. Yeah, of course. Well, and no, and that's never happened before. This is the first campaign. This is the first year that totally inauthentic photos of Trump hugging Fauci, which are manufactured by CG or other thing manufactured by AI. This is the first time that kind of stuff's, and they're having Trump's voice be manufactured by AI to say stuff that he hasn't said before. This is the first time that this has ever happened in politics and media. And it won't be the last.
But so I wouldn't think that. I don't know.
Anyway, the real results are that Trump is dominating the Republican side. DeSantis is dropping in the polls. Vivek whatever is basically tied with Trump. We're tied with DeSantis right now for second, and then there's a bunch of Tim Scott and people down ticket.
I'm sorry, I cannot believe that anyone's political campaign would do something like that at all. They would distance themselves from that as far as possible. And now, hang on. If I was leading your political campaign and wanted to do something like that, I would go through 17 fucking intermediaries to find somebody, 17 freaking people down to do it and send it out so that it would be really, really hard to be traced back to me. And then I'm going to pull what the media pulls all the time, JJ, that we have said on our show many times to watch out for. And I'm going to retweet it. And then I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, this is bad. And I didn't realize it was fake and whatnot. And we're sorry. 3 days after I've retweeted it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so retraction.
It's already made the damage.
It doesn't matter.
It's already done the damage and everything.
So I have stories here on San Francisco Gate, Business Insider, CNN, multiple different stories about AI being used in the current campaign, including one where Trump's voice isn't real; it's AI generated, and then another where DeSantis PAC is using AI generated images. So. We're in an interesting. But what I wanted to say was, we have the Republican field, and Trump is dominating the Republican field right now. It's very early. It's very, very early. Things can change. Anything can change, especially he's got all these trials coming up. And then you have Biden, and all the Democrats are super excited for Biden, and RFK Jr. What if Trump and RFK Jr. teamed up? Wouldn't that be strange? Across the aisle, we haven't done that in like a century.
I don't know why DeSantis didn't. Why it wasn't Trump DeSantis?
Both of them are in Florida. That's why. Usually when you have a presidential and a VP, you need that VP to be from another state to pull in another state. It doesn't help if they're both in Florida.
Who gives a fuck? That's every other time. If you'd have had Trump DeSantis, you'd have won. I'm sorry, I think you'd have won.
Yeah, DeSantis' campaign messed up on this. They got real aggressive and real hard. They went against Trump, and Trump destroys whoever goes against him.
I think the DeSantis campaign messed up talking about this black stuff over the weekend, about the blacks, about the slavery stuff.
That's what you were talking about? Yeah,
that's what I was talking about.
Florida education reform.
He didn't say anything that wasn't factual. All right.
Oh, that's what you mean.
It's just that people don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear it.
Right. I think the big controversy there is that the Florida curriculum outlines a bunch of different events that happened in American history, especially relating to slave and black culture, or whatever. And one piece of it was during this time, black people that were slaves in America learned skills that they were able to use later on their own. And that would be farming, whatever.
I can't comment after this. Hang on, I got to talk. I wanted to say something on that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll keep it up here. Let me pull that up because we didn't cover that on the show. Let's see, Florida education. MSNBC is framing it as Florida pushes students to think more positively about slavery. and Chris Christie's fat. Florida Board of Education releases new standards for Black history curriculum.
Yeah, and so all I was going to say, I really just I didn't want to talk about this because I don't want to. I don't want to.
Some people don't know.
I know, but I didn't want to have a discussion about it because I don't want to piss off anybody that that might not understand the complete history of America. Instead of saying uneducated people, some people just have not had the opportunity to be taught the complete history of America and what everything has gone through and the world, really. You know, what how social stuff has gone on in the world, you know, social aspects throughout history. And I've always been fascinated with stuff like that. You know, I like stuff like that. So what I don't think what DeSantis said was factually incorrect, but not maybe in an overall standpoint.
What did DeSantis say? I don't know what DeSantis said about this.
They were basically saying that what you just said it there a second ago, some of the skills that they learned as slaves, they went on to use them, and people are flipping out about that.
They get really emotional about this stuff.
I'm like, why are you trying to politicize? There's nothing political about what he said. What he's saying is a fact of nature. You could say that about the Mayans captured the whatever, and the whatever people if you were captured and learned to break rocks in North Korea and you did that for 30 years, you would learn some fucking rock breaking skills.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm just generalizing, and I'm not trying to trivialize or say anything about it. I'm just saying what he's saying is factually correct.
I think the people like Kamala Harris, because she's been out on this, and some other people are trying to. Yeah, I think these people are trying to frame it as though, it was good. It was overall good for them because they got a skill out of it. That's not what they're saying. They're saying like it was, like overall. I mean, obviously it's bad. In the major context, people were sold into slavery, brought here, traded as property. But during the course of that, and their children were born into slavery and raised over the course of these decades. But some of them went from being people that lived by hunting and foraging, their grandparents in Africa to in America, they were farmers, they were carpenters, they were, they had trades that they were forced to learn and do. But then when they were emancipated, they were able to keep those trades and skills and profit for themselves.
So let me just tell you a quick story real quick. And if folks think that I'm full of shit, you can Google this if you want to. Okay. So Robert E. Lee, the hateful, warmongering Confederate president, leader of the Confederacy, hateful devil, Robert E. Lee, right? I'd like to first say that he is my seventh cousin, 7 times removed. I am directly related in Robert E. Lee's bloodline. Robert E. Lee is still taught at West Point. There's classes on. He was one of the greatest generals in the history of humanity, if you study him. So Robert E. Lee, this hateful, slave-owning, Southern. Do you know how many slaves he owned? Do you know how many slaves?
I don't know. Probably 200,000, 150. I don't know how many.
He owned 2 slaves for about 1 minute. For about 1 minute. Oh. His uncle passed away, and his uncle bequeathed Robert his 2 slaves. And as soon as Robert took possession of those slaves, he freed them. And he told those slaves, he said, look, you're free to go. You can do whatever you want to. But you're not going to survive very long out there on your own. So here's what I'm going to do. You can continue to do what you've been doing here on the farm, and I will pay you a decent wage. And then you can save up. And in 5 years, you will have enough money to go and make it on your own. Does that sound like a slave-owning, hateful, warmongering president of the South? And if folks don't believe, if they think I'm making that up, just look it up. I've read 2 or 3 books on Robert E. Lee. Wow. Look up the story.
Give us enough time and we can change those books.
Oh, it'll be changed. You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
All right. Hey, folks looking to come to America. There's some what we have here in America, sanctuary cities, and the Center for Immigration Studies has updated their map of sanctuary cities. And here, let's look at this. Check this out. These are all the places in America where there are counties that are yellow that are sanctuary counties. And these red dots are cities, sanctuary cities, and some of the green ones here are whole states of sanctuary states. And these are the places where you can probably go to and get, and however you get there. Once you get there, they're gonna just have their arms open wide and welcome. Unless
who's that? Oh, I wanted to see that.
Oh yeah.
No, what? Where is that? I'm gonna have to go. I can't see it.
I can't zoom in too much here.
No, you can't.
Oh yeah, I can. Where do you want to look at?
Oh, you can. I want to look at. Go right. Yeah, no, go back down to where is that? Memphis.
Oh yeah, Memphis, Tennessee. That's Memphis County. Memphis. Yeah, right there.
Oh yeah, that's what I started to say. It's got to be Memphis. Okay.
Yeah,
and then what's the red? Is that Louisville?
Yeah, that's Louisville.
Okay.
Oh, you guys got a sanctuary city in there.
Yeah,
Good job.
Louisville was. And Cincinnati,
good job, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cincinnati County. Yeah,
there's got to be Chicago. No, Chicago.
Yeah, the whole state, almost certainly entirely because of Chicago. This county probably because of Chicago, and obviously Chicago. So, yeah, very good resource for.
Go over to St. Louis. Go zoom back in.
Where's St. Louis?
St. Louis is it's St. Louis. It's over here, left of Louisville, of the red Louisville. You see it? Keep going left, down from the green.
I see Memphis.
No, Louisville's not.
Oh, St. Louis. No, sir. No, sir. St. Louis is that's not a good place for you to go. Obviously, you can go to New York. You can go all over the East Coast here. Look, you can go to 2 different cities in New York.
But you know what? You know
Haven,
what's funny?
Hartford, Albany.
All of these places that are sanctuary cities up here, are huge cities that don't have. That everything costs $1 million freaking dollars to do. Whereas here, it's not that we don't want, it's not that we're not unwelcoming. You're from another country and you move to my county. Welcome to America. Welcome to our county.
Get a job, pay rent, buy groceries, pay taxes, whatever.
It's if you need anything, let me know. I'm neighbor Andy.
Yeah.
I'm not against all of that. It's cheaper here too. It's a lot cheaper here.
Sure.
So if I were to tell you my house payment, people would shit. Because you're like, oh my God, I pay twice that in rent.
I honestly, I say I love it. I hate when I watch these shows on TV, especially on the Eastern Seaboard, we're like, oh, we bought this house for this amount of money, we flipped it. And I'm like, 1,200 square feet for 800,000. What are you doing?
God,
why are you doing that? Why don't you just pile up your money and set it on fire?
Kentucky's not that bad. It's really pretty here.
It's pretty good. So let's see. Cities like New York and Chicago have dismissed concerns about border states in recent years, but now they're getting a little bit concerned. New York Mayor Eric Adams publicly said last week that New York City cannot handle any more migrants. And he told reporters that the city plans to pass out flyers at the southern border to discourage illegal immigrants from traveling to New York City. In fact, I think I read a story last week where Mayor Adams wanted the New York National Guard to pass out these flyers. And the National Guard was like, no, that's not our job, bro. No, we're not passing out flyers for you. So Mayor Adams they want to say publicly, we embrace immigrants. We embrace them, and this is a safe place for them. But then once the mics are off, they're like, we got too many. There's too many people here. This is too hard. No way. Get out. Go somewhere else. They try to ship them to other cities and stuff like that. So, surprise, politicians are full of shit. All right.
I'm changing the subject. I got one for you. I got a couple of stories for you here real quick that I wanted to touch on real quick. This one I was like, you got to be kidding me. Oh my God, this is the future. Here's the future, JJ.
The future.
This guy's homeowner's insurance policy was canceled on him out of the blue. And
Why?
he believes it was because a drone flew over his house and saw that he had some clutter in his backyard, and they declared his house a fire zone or a fire hazard, and they canceled his policy. He had this policy for 15 years and never filed one thing with them. For 15 years, never filed a single claim in 15 years. So he was confused, and he asked them, and they were like, no. He's like, I've seen drones fly over my property all the time, and I've never really thought about it. But he asked them, and they're like, no, we didn't send a drone at all. They absolutely adamantly denied sending a drone. But in a letter, they said that it may review proprietary aerial imagery.
So they paid somebody else to do it, and then they get the
yeah. So it's an area. They said the images may have been captured by fixed wing airplane or satellite instead. That's bullshit. So I just wanted to make people aware that this happened.
Yeah, right. What's the problem? He's got a fire pit, and his fire pit's on a concrete slab, and it's like more than 10 feet away from his house. What's the problem?
Let's see.
Dude even has a concrete pad for his trash cans.
After photos taken over his property showed hazards in his yards. Apparently they had some pictures and they noticed clutter. The notice said that debris, hazardous conditions, tires, or a dilapidated car in his yard. Where was it say? It said something about he was not in a fire hazard, but I thought it said something about he wasn't in a fire zone or whatnot. But so there you go. What do you think about that, JJ?
I mean, he got a little bit of junk in his driveway, but that's his house. So what?
Exactly.
That's what I say.
All right, I got another one here for you. This one was a really cool story. I just wanted to bring this up real quick. I'll post this story, the whole story, in our Discord server, so you can join our Discord right over there above JJ's head in comic book, his Mighty Thor comic book. Is that Mighty Thor?
Right here. This is actually Marvel Spectacular.
Oh.
Although that is a Jack Kirby image of Thor fighting Ulik. Oh, it sounds like Showstopper's up. Come here, Showstopper. Oh, go ahead on.
All right, so I'm going to show you this story real quick.
Go on. I thought you had to hear it. All right, go on. And then Brad will come. Yeah, right, sure. Yeah, I got Brad. A very important cat right here. This cat right here, she's had this like her entire life. So 4 years, going on 5 years, and it doesn't matter what other toy is in this house. This better be with her when she goes to bed, or else she's going to be up and not happy.
What's the cat's name?
Brad.
Brad the cat.
Brad the cat.
Maggie had a stuffed monkey that I got her as a baby, and the monkey's name was Ooh-Ooh-Ah-Ah. Because that was what monkeys Ooh-Ooh-Ah-Ah. So that was the name. We called the monkey Ooh-Ooh-Ah-Ah. And Ooh-Ooh-Ah-Ah got ate by the dog one time. Yeah. So we had to have, Ooh-Ooh-Ah-Ah has had plastic surgery done. So her eyes don't line up like they used to anymore.
Yeah. I don't know that I've fixed this one, but
Brad's a little lanky. He looks a little alley cattish.
Yeah, this is a I think it's a Build-A-Bear cat. She was literally like a baby, and my dad had given her like a Build-A-Bear gift card or whatever. And so the girls both got to go to Build-A-Bear and pick out an animal. My daughter picked out some bear with the thing in it. And then my Lily picked out this thing. And they let them decide how much fluff they wanted. There's almost nothing in here. It's got a little bit in its feet. So this thing is basically an empty sack. She loves this thing exactly like this. So
that's all that matters. She likes it like that.
Yeah.
She don't want it fluffy. She wants it like that.
All right.
Awesome. All right. Here's my story.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What? No. Were you?
No. Do your story. Do your story.
I'll post this story in our Discord server, so join the Discord.
Oh, yeah. What's going on here?
This is really cool. This undergraduate kid started doing this little investigation on Stanford's president. He's a neuroscientist and billionaire named Mark Tessier Levine. All right. It all started in this guy's freshman year when he noticed researchers online discussing the billionaire's scientific papers contained manipulated images. All right. They were just discussing that this billionaire and neuroscientist and Stanford's president, all of his papers that he had manipulated images. So this guy was like, okay, this 18-year-old Theo Baker was like, well, I'm going to figure it out, because everybody else were too scared of the billionaire to say anything or to go on record or to say anything. Well, he wasn't. So he got some of the world's best experts to try to figure out at spotting this Elizabeth Bick, who is sort of the world's #1 expert in spotting image manipulation and scientific imagery. Worked very closely with him, along with 2 other misconduct researchers, and they uncovered that the president of Stanford had been manipulating his papers with these images and stuff for decades, getting all kinds of grants and researches and stuff because of false stuff in his papers. That when people now are going, you got to believe the science. You have to believe the science. Oh, yeah, I've got to believe the science from a billionaire that's been lying to us, and it took an 18-year-old kid that had the balls to prove it. This is a long article, but it is a good one, man. It's really interesting. So I'm going to post it over there in our news drops, right?
Why would he be doing this? You know,
because that's free money, dude. And in the scientific community, all right, in the scientific community, if you were to come out, those guys that believe that there may have been a civilization that was completely destroyed, you know,
yeah.
They won't even touch it. If you are a scientist and you honestly believe that, you won't come out and say it, because it's like middle school. They will call you names and ostracize you, and you won't get any grants. You won't get invited to any places. You won't have anybody to talk to. And anybody that believes the same way that you do, they won't talk to you anymore, because they don't want that to happen to them. So that's why our knowledge in this has been, we have blinders on with our knowledge. And anybody like me that says, well, maybe there's other people out there, and maybe we're not the pinnacle of humanity's civilization, and maybe there was a civilization of aliens on this earth a long ass time ago, and our stories have gotten warped over the years that we call them gods now, considering the Greeks and the Romans and the freaking the Vikings, and they all had the same type of gods. I mean, and I'm the crazy one to think of this mess.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we definitely have story. Okay, so I along with everything else, I just kind of have the same opinion about this. People in government lie to you. People in media lie to you. I'm not at all shocked that a professor would fake stuff. I'm shocked that a billionaire professor. Well, how is this worth his time? He could be just taking some of his assets.
We don't know how he became a billionaire, though. He probably became a billionaire because he used money that he scams. He fudged some numbers. It looked good on a scientific paper. The government gives him $1 million grant. He takes 100,000 of the $1 million grant and invests it in the stock market and keeps doing that and becomes a billionaire. He wouldn't be this is a hypothetical situation.
Yeah. I mean, look, I know that there's grant money out there, but like that grant money is a few
billionaire
scientists here,
president of Stanford University shouldn't be lying in a scientific paper
for sure.
When it's 2023, and
it's crazy.
That little girl sitting in your lap right there shouldn't be lied to about what's going on in the world, right?
That's true.
She should know the truth about everything that's going on in the world. And if we know it, she should know. So she should be educated. She needs to be smarter than us.
They need to have a better chance than us.
Absolutely.
That's true.
It pleases me now. But Alex last night was like, I've got algebra 2 this year, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you got algebra 2 this year? Because he's a sophomore. He's a sophomore. I got algebra 2 this year. It's like, you got algebra 2? I was like, son, you have officially passed the farthest I went.
Oh.
He was like, really? I was like, I only had to have 3 and, blah, blah, blah. And I never even took, I hate math and I didn't need it. And, he was like, oh. And my son, Deacon, the real Deacon he's smarter than me in certain subjects, in math and something. So
it's not there's not one dimension of intelligence, right? There's multiple dimensions.
Let me tell you why he's my favorite.
Oh, we have been waiting to hear why Brad is your favorite. Please tell us.
Because he's a cat and I love cats. Because of his face and because of what he looked like, because of how little he
is. Yeah.
Because of how.
Now he doesn't seem to be as full of fluffy as some of your other toys. Are you okay with the fact that he doesn't have a lot of stuffing in there?
No, I love him. Look, he's floppy, and I love floppy cats. Because then he gets to move his paw so fast.
Oh, okay. You love floppy cats.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad to hear that.
That's why I love him.
Lily, do you want to see a picture of my 2 little sweeties that I've
You want to see Deacon's cats? Deacon has real cats. You want to see Deacon's cats?
These are ones that were. I'm like a kitty cat person that helps mama kitty cats. When mama kitty cats have babies, I help them have babies. I've helped a lot of mama kitty cats have babies over the years, and
He's got pictures. You want to see?
A mama kitty cat have babies.
Look at that!
Look, can you see them?
Oh, that's real kitty. He has real cats.
Look, this one. When you showed me Brad, I thought that one kind of looks like. Can you see that? Oh, it's
a little washed out.
It is washed out. Can I turn it a little bit? And see?
Yeah. Oh, look! You see that cat right there?
He's blonde and he has a little bit of white. And hang on, I'll show you their mama. Here's their mama.
Look at that. Look at that cat.
You can't really see that well. That's grilled cheese.
And it kind of looks like Brad.
It kind of does. Brad, that's reminded me of Brad.
Brad has white on with his stripes.
Mm-hmm.
And look, he has many colors.
Yeah, many colors.
Yeah, he has
yellow and a different color yellow and a different color yellow, and that's dirt.
What's dirt?
Right there. It's dirty.
It might be like crusty jelly or something like that.
No, we wash Brad pretty frequently.
I still love
Brad take
him.
a bath?
You still love. Yeah. Brad. Brad gets in the washing machine.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite more than my toys and more than mom. Like all the stuff. He's more than all the toys. That's my.
Yeah.
Who's my.
Spooky.
I used to have.
You want to see Spooky?
I used to have a puppy dog named Baxter when I was little.
Baxter
the puppy dog. He was a hound dog.
What happened to him?
I don't know what. Oh, I know what happened to him. My house caught on fire, and I lost everything in a fire. And Baxter, I lost everything. In a fire.
Oh, really? Baxter too? That's awful. I didn't know that.
It's okay.
Oh man, that's terrible. Hey, we got one more story, and we're gonna go. We're gonna tell the jokes, okay? We're gonna talk about that, okay? Just that set it up, okay? This is probably the most important news of the week. I know we talked about the president, we talked about RFK, we talked about DeSantis, we talked about Kamala Harris, but Deacon, this weekend, somebody stole a 150-pound statue from the Beetlejuice 2 set. I've been waiting 30 years for a Beetlejuice sequel, and somebody thought it would just be hilarious to drive up on the set while crew was on break for a couple days and just take some stuff. Look at what they took, dude. You remember?
Oh, no, not that.
Yeah, right.
You're never going to be able to get rid of that. That is iconic Beetlejuice.
They're going to get caught.
They are.
Somebody's going to be like, dude, are you the one that stole that thing? Yeah, 150-pound statue. We tried to say the name of the stolen statue 3 times, but it didn't come back. The Vermont State Police said on Facebook post Friday, Vermont state troopers are investigating the theft of this 150-pound set piece from Beetlejuice 2 filming location in East Corinth, along with a lamppost topped with a decorative pumpkin top. The statue was stolen sometime between 5 p.m. Thursday, July 13th, and 11 a.m. Monday, July 17th. The thieves bundled the lamppost in the back of an older GMC pickup and just took off just after midnight on July 14th. So, I guess the crew was like weekend vacation, or whatever.
Dude, I figured anyway, numbers for the movies this weekend since this weekend. That's all. The media has been dogging Sound of Freedom, but this weekend, Barbie and Oppenheimer. I don't know how many articles I've read that's talked about the Oscar buzz, and I'm like, Barbie is
Oscar buzz. About, I don't get it. Okay. Like Barbie, Transformers. Let's compare these two things. Barbie is a toy played with by little girls up until they're 5, 10 or whatever, not played with by boys. And it's like some, playing with dolls, stories and stuff like that. So half the demographic played with it when they were kids, but they don't continue to play with them when they're older.
Them. When they're older, they collect them.
Transformers, same story, reverse, right? They played with by boys mostly when they're kids, but
collect them when they're older.
But lends itself to an adaptation as an action film. So while you may not have played with Transformers as a kid, you might be interested in going to an action movie, right?
Right.
So where's the crossover appeal of Barbie? I don't get it. I don't know. And so I don't know how it's making so much money.
It's making so much money is because of the appeal, because of the name.
Just because it's Barbie?
Like watched it over the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Your daughters.
Mm-hmm. 2 of my daughters went and watched them.
Would you go watch it? Would Ashley go watch it?
No, Ashley had a chance. Ashley's like, I'm not going to watch that.
So how is this movie making? Where is the audience?
It wasn't made for little girls either. It wasn't made for little girls.
I understand that. So it's a Barbie movie not made for little kids.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get it.
It was hilarious that they were like Oscar, and I'm like, Jesus, you got to be kidding me.
Now I can understand why it's not making as much money. Why it's making more money than Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer's 3 hours long. It's a 3 hour long movie about the Manhattan Project, dude. I can't sit in the theater.
I know. I'm not going to sit through that. I'm not going to sit through that in my house. All right.
Okay. Hey, I need you to go get dressed.
They try to politicize a movie and about selling children, and they try to politicize a movie about selling children.
Okay, I do want to say this. I'm looking at the weekend domestic chart, and not only did Barbie make more money than Oppenheimer, Sound of Freedom made more money than Mission Impossible. I'm talking gross. It made $20 million this weekend. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning made $19.5. Good. So and the Indiana Jones: Dial of Destiny made like $6.5. So good. Sound of Freedom is legitimately beating Mission
Hollywood
Impossible.
Is blowing up. I'm glad. And all.
Whoa, dude! No! Look at this. Sound of Freedom has a total gross of $124 million since release. Mission Impossible has a total of $118 million. It is beating Mission Impossible legitimately in domestic gross.
More weeks though than Mission Impossible, and that's
one extra week. Yeah, right. Oh, this is nuts. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, anyway. Oh, you couldn't see the numbers. I didn't have them pulled up. All right, joke time. Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to join our Discord server and give JJ jokes because he uses a 19 box set of jokes that he got at the Goodwill. I'm just making all that up, but it's probably correct.
That is entirely correct.
That's what I figured. He figured.
Why does a chicken coop only have 2 doors?
Because a 4-door would be a chicken sedan.
Yeah, that's
AJ.
All right. Yeah, I know.
You see, when I say we need you to send JJ some more jokes because these ones from 1990 we've already heard for 30 years. Read me another one. Let me see if I can guess another.
Why was the safari cat? Dwight, I read this one last week. Sorry. Let's see. Here we go. What do you call an old person with really good hearing?
I don't know.
Deaf defying.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Deaf defying.
That's not really that good.
What do you call someone who takes care of chickens?
I don't know. Chicken wrangler?
A chicken tender.
All right, here's one for pop culture, and then this is it. How does Darth Vader like his morning bagel toasted?
I don't know.
A little bit on the dark side.
Yeah. Okay. I got one. Last one.
All right.
I just before we love. I've got it right here. It's the world's worst thesaurus. Thesaurus right there. It's not only terrible, it's delicious. Do you get it?
Thanks for watching, everybody. Yeah. Okay. Right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye.